If you're not listening to the Smoke World podcast, you're wasting your time, you mortal.
What's up, folks? Welcome to another episode of Smoke World. I'm your host, Stone. So go grab that stick, go grab a glass of whatever you're drinking. Let's sit back and have that conversation. You can follow me on Instagram. That's IG for short, Smoke World Podcast. Email stone at smokeworldpodcast.com. And the website, folks. The swag is on the website. Go check out the website, smokeworldpodcast.com. What's up, people? What's up with you? Yeah. I know y'all love that. I know you love that. What you doing? What's been going on? What's hot? What's not? Did you go out and vote? Did you go out and vote? Yeah. Huh? Oh, okay. Get yourself together. Get your life together. Go get your cigar. Go get your buddy. Go out and vote. Talking to you Georgians. Because we up here have already did what we needed to do. Anyway, for those who love me, you know what it is. For those who don't, I still love you. Folks, this episode I have my guests, Nick and Ray from Cigar Clowns. And you may be familiar with the Cigar Clowns, and maybe you're not. But either way, you're going to learn today. You're going to be educated on my guests. They're going to teach you and instruct you on how they did this. They started off just like you and me, sitting in the lounge, doing what we love to do. But the difference between the people who get on the podcast are the go-doers. We used to sit around and talk about it. Some people go and be about it. But anyway, I'm not going to beat you up because that's not what I'm here to do. So sit back and enjoy. Check you out on the other side. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, for those who are listening around the globe, today's guests are my brothers of the leaf from Cigar Clowns. If you haven't heard of them, you haven't been paying attention. I got my man Nick and Ray. What's up, brothers? How you feeling today?
Doing fantastic. Thanks for having us. Appreciate you.
Appreciate it, brothers. Now, y'all sound real mellow. Y'all sounding like y'all about to take a test, man, so you got to relax, get your head right. All right, listen, fellas, I'm going to hit Ray up, man. Ray, I'm going to start with you, my brother. Let's talk about this thing, bro. Where you from, bro?
Ready to go, brother. I am from Bensonhurst, Brooklyn, New York City.
New York is in the building. Okay, so this is a New York crew. Nikki,
That's
you
up.
from New York too, bro? You a New York guy?
Same area. Me and Ray actually grew up together.
Oh, damn, that's interesting. All right, let's talk about that a little bit. So y'all grew up together in New York, you know, doing some things, making some moves. Let's have a conversation about that.
Yeah, so basically, we, myself and Nick as kids, grew up in the catering business as kids, trying to make a couple of bucks while we were young and dumb and trying to have fun in life and going out and partying and doing things at a younger age. Nick is a little bit older than I am. We went through the catering business together. We both worked our way up in the catering business. That's how our relationship started, and knowing each other from the neighborhood and having mutual friends through the neighborhood that we grew up in. Joe, one of our partners, being one of them. I know Nick for over 25 years at this point. And, he had left the catering industry for a while. We kind of lost touch for a little bit, because, who kept up with phones and beepers and Star Text back in those early days in the late 90s. So, we kind of actually got in touch through social media, being Facebook. He friend requested me. We started kicking it and talking. I, at that time, have just, got my journey into cigars through my grandfather. And he kind of put me onto cigars as a young man, 20, 21 years old. I think it was when I first smoked my first cigar. I never was really into smoking or doing anything because I was an athlete my entire life from the time I was 5 all the way through high school into college. So I kind of, had that clean cut image, being an athlete. And I was just starting my journey into cigars. Nicky's been smoking cigars since he was a youngin'. Kind of had a mutual conversation with him. But I said, hey, by the way, I started smoking cigars. He's like, what are you smoking? So we kind of rekindled our relationship through cigars. And we used to hang out at his house on Staten Island because he was living on Staten Island at the time. And I would go over on Friday nights to hang out with Nick and smoke cigars in his backyard. And he had a little phrase when he would call me up on the phone. It's like, hey, what do you put in your mouth on Friday nights? And I'd say, hey, I put a cigar in my mouth on Friday nights. And, oh, you coming by on Friday? We're hanging out, blah, 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 blah. So we used to do that pretty often. I would say either it was consecutive Fridays, or it was every other Friday, or it was a bunch of times during the month on Friday nights we would hang out. And myself, I can say I'm a big mob historian. We grew up around the life. We weren't involved, obviously. We don't.
Hey,
We
it's
don't
okay. It's
condone
okay.
it.
Hey, man, it's a safe space, man. You can tell us. It's okay.
But we don't condone anything that goes
Hey,
on in that
again,
life.
listen, I'm not saying condone. It's okay. You saw some things. You was around some things. Yeah, of course.
Listen, myself and Nick, you go by the cafe. Hey, kid, do me a favor, go get me a pack of cigarettes. Blah blah blah. And come back. I keep the tip. Stuff like that. So, we had the 18th Avenue Feast in our neighborhood when we were kids. It was always a safe place to grow up. They were all nice to us as young adolescents, I would say. So, I myself growing up was always a big fan of mob movies. I saw them to this day. Bronx Tale, Goodfellas, Casino, Godfather. And, I would always quote movies. That was Nick. That's something Nicky knows about me. I've always quoted movies as a kid. So we were hanging out one day, and I think maybe Nicky can kind of, brush on it a little bit more than me because my memory's kind of jogged at this point to this day. He had made a joke, or I made a joke, and I said, Nicky, I'm like, oh, what are you, a clown? I'm here to amuse you. He goes, that's what we should call ourselves. Our little crew that we hang out with, Cigar Clowns. We're a bunch of cigar clowns hanging out on Friday nights. So that's how the name was born 20 years ago. 22 years ago, I think. 21 years ago, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a crazy night when that name came out.
Mm-hmm.
You're not a clown. You're a cigar clown, and that's how it's all about.
Right.
Hey, Nick. All right, it's your turn, Nick. Like I said, he left. Ray got a little nervous. He was scared to talk about the mob thing, but that's cool. I know Nick got some heart. Go ahead, Nick. Go ahead, break that story down, man.
I see nothing and know nothing.
Hey, okay. Hey. What are you talking about here, huh? Come on, forget about it. Come on, something.
So the Cigar Clowns, we created a Facebook group back in 2018. Me and Ray, after creating this name, and through the pandemic, we had nothing to do except get back from work, because we all blue-collar guys. We go out to work. Nothing to do except smoke cigars and go on these different Zoom calls. I don't even remember the name of the one we were using that one.
Google Duo. That was it. Yep.
Oh, yeah, Duo.
Yeah. We were doing a Google Duo, and we were just smoking cigars. And, me and Ray at the time, we were looking for a cigar for the group, like most groups have a cigar for their group, for their members in their group, and it became such a hard adventure to find the perfect cigar. So with that being said, me and Ray started talking, and we decided to, we could create a journey to find the perfect stick. We didn't call it that right away. So one of our partners, Murph, came up with that slogan. But we decided to reach out to our closest friends that we all knew, Joe and Danny, Murph. And we asked them, listen, do you want to be part of this journey, this adventure to find the perfect stick? And so through the pandemic, we're one of those success stories, as Ray always says. Is amazing, and this journey has continued that by the end of 2022 we have dropped 22 releases, which is pretty amazing.
That's impressive
if you really think of it. And the Cigar Clown cigars, if you haven't had one, once you have your first one, not to toot our own horns, but it will blow you away if you are into, real strong pepper flavors, spice flavors, different notes. The adventure of the cigar from the beginning to the end and where it takes you. You'll be hooked in. But the problem is getting the cigars. Getting the cigars, we're in just about it will be 43 retail shops. including PrivadaCigarClub.com. We do list our cigars on there. But once our cigars are gone, they're gone. And, 9 out of 10 of our releases disappear within 24 to 72 hours, which is pretty amazing.
That's about a bing. That's about a bing, brother. That's definitely amazing.
Yeah, it's definitely a bada bing. But the problem is they're so good, you want more, and you want more, and you want more. And the journey continues because we have not found that perfect stick yet. Listen, I hope we never find the perfect stick, but I hope to find one that I could say, you know what? This is the perfect stick for all the time. But
all right, now, so here's the thing. All right, you kind of skipped over, brothers. Y'all kind of skipped over to me. You're like, okay, you got the name Cigar Clowns. You were smoking back in the days as a group. See, this is the amazing thing. This is why I love the podcast, because you guys are like the regular guy and girls that's sitting at the lounge enjoying smokes and didn't have this bright idea and actually execute the idea. So a lot of people have great ideas in the lounge, and you hear somebody tell you something like, oh, that's a pretty good idea. And that's as far as it goes. You guys said, you know what? Let's take it to the next level. Let's actually create a cigar. And you did. And you really did. So kudos to you guys for doing that. So with that being the case, you got a brand. Again, now here's the question I do have. I'm going to kind of jump around a little bit because I'm not sure what the name was. Because it was not the Ron or the Ron. Which is the right name? Because I've seen several.
Well, yeah.
Which one is
you have the Ron. You have the Ron, which was released in July of 2021, which was the cigar that we were able to have blended by AJ Fernandez himself through the LCA, the Limited Cigar Association, which is associated with Privada Cigar Club. And then this year, we're in the business of, once we put out a cigar release, we kind of move on to the next project, right? So to kind of touch on the Cigar Clowns as a whole, kind of like filling in the gaps a little bit. If you go back to our early infancy when we first started, when we first put out our first stick to our Facebook group, because then we were a group. We weren't a club. We weren't, a brand. We weren't anything. We were a Facebook group with a bunch of friends, family that were a part of it, and we had I think 30 people on our Facebook group page at that point. So what I will tell you is, first and foremost, besides being a brand now, we're consumers first, right? We've always been consumers. We would go to Drew Estate events. We would go to, Black Label Trading Works events. We're lounge lizards at the end of the day. This is why we're such a big advocate for brick and mortar lounges, right? And the cigar industry as a whole. So that's first and foremost for us. So when we started this, being through COVID and the pandemic, being locked down, like Nikki was saying, we sat down as a collective and, for smoking cigars for 20 plus years, myself and Nick know a lot of people in the industry. So we just kind of, started putting some feelers out there. Hey, how can we go about doing this? Or where can we go about doing that? So what we did is we made a contact down in Nicaragua through a mutual friend of ours. And what we did is they had inventory in the factory of a cigar run that was not taken. It was either the wrong size. It wasn't the proper filler that they were looking for. So it was sitting there for about a year. And that was the first stick that we put out, and we just called it a Cigar Clown. It had our old logo branding on it, which was the Coney Island Clown, which is the Tilly Clown, which is the logo that we first started with as a Facebook group. Not running into any copyright issues or anything like that back then. We were just a kind of a club. So there was a run of 500. We purchased those sticks. We banded them. And we did it on an underground basis. We weren't affiliated with anyone. We didn't have a tobacco license at that point. It was all underground. We were selling it to our friends and our family. We got such success from the first run that we put out. People loved it. Like, oh, well, maybe this is kind of a thing. Yeah, well, maybe we'll put out another thing. We didn't expect what came after that and pursued further on and on to that. So moving forward, we did a couple of, cigars that way on the underground. And I was a member of the Privada Cigar Club in its infancy in 2017. I ended up developing a relationship with Brian Descent, who is the CEO of Privada Cigar Club. So he was, not a kind of, sit back and didn't ask anything about it. And then all of a sudden, myself and Nick went on an interview with Boston Jimmy of Stogie Press. He wanted to interview us because he got wind of us and what we were doing. Saw the interview, loved what we were talking about, loved what we were doing. And then he kind of approached us and said, hey, listen, I love what you guys are doing, man. This is a great story. I would love to kind of maybe do something with you guys. And we were like, sounds good to us. So we kind of developed that relationship and going to Privada, and then moving forward, he approached us about doing a project with AJ Fernandez, and we were freaking honored to be. He told us a story. AJ loved our story through interpreters and whatnot. We had a conversation with him, and that was the Ron Whistle, and that was the springboard for us to become like a regional group out of the New York area, East Coast part of New York, through a provider that kind of gave us that stepping stone, being a Facebook club group into becoming like a regional type S group, and working with Rob and distributing through the Limited Cigar Association. And then we started towards the end of the year last year in 21. We put out the Jack in the Box. After that, we put out the AVB for Halloween stick, and we put out the Scaramouche in the beginning of the year of January. We started to get such great feedback and people loving our stuff. And our partner Murph kind of put out this phrase, as we were building our social media aspect between Instagram and Facebook. Listen, you see what we're putting out. People liking our stuff. You heard about us. We went out to 400 shops across the country with the Ron, the original release of the Ron. That trust our palate, what we're doing. Trust what we're doing. We're not going to give you quality. We have a pretty unique process that we go through in finding sticks and getting sticks and talking to blenders and stuff like that. And trust what we're doing. We kind of caught fire. It started to grow more. Interviews here. Boston Jimmy was reviewing our sticks. Every cigar that we've had reviewed from Boston Jimmy and Stogie Press is on his website. I think the lowest rating we've ever gotten on a cigar with him is an 88. Everything has been 90 plus in every cigar that he's in. He reviewed sticks from us when we were doing underground stuff when we first started. So propel into 2022, and this year, we were starting to do special projects, and we were kind of trying to get back to the brick and mortars, who were the mom and pop places who were kind of struggling to get through the pandemic. And we came up with a three-ring circus series where we did 3 different cigars for 3 different shops, released 2 weeks apart in a span of the late winter into early spring, and that was a huge success. So that kind of elevated us a little bit more. And then, you're coming through, this year in the summertime, and, in the talks, AJ had got wind of how good that we were doing and wanted to redo a project for the Ron. So we were joking around as a collective. He wanted to do it in a different size to make it a little bit unique from not being the same stick that we had. So he had the same crop that he used, which is from his personal family reserve that he didn't put out to market or anything like that he made specially, that he let us, we were able to use. He made it in a bigger ring size. Well, it's the Ron. It's the same blend, but it's not the Ron. So that's how the name, being funny and being a bunch of clowns, we decided to call it Not the Ron, because it's the Ron, but it's not the Ron. So that's how the Not the Ron name came up. Went back out to the LCA. People swarmed up. It sold out within 2 days through all the shops across the country. And, moving forward now, we just released the 5150 back in September, and we did the Recession release, which was an exclusive stick for the Barclay Rex in Manhattan, which was a great party. It was a great event that we had at the Barclay Rex in Lower Manhattan. And, I think we've kind of propelled ourselves out of a regional group and becoming a real legit brand where people know. We developed such a cult following, and people, come on this journey with us and love what we're doing and supporting our brand and what we do. And it's kind of, we kind of went through phases of being a club to a regional group to a full legit, full on press brand at this point. And that's where we're at, sitting here talking to you on November 8th of 2022, going into 2023.
All right, now you hyped everybody up, brother. I love this story. So now I want you to talk to the customer, the smoker who has not really heard of Cigar Clowns. They're like, man, okay, this sounds awesome. So what is the model? How does one get your cigar? Because again, Nick says it sells out in like 72 hours, brother. So, that's kind of a hurt piece. I'm upset. I'm happy for you guys, but I'm upset. I can't ever get them fast enough. So,
So the first thing I would definitely tell the consumer is join our Facebook and Instagram so that you can see as the releases are coming. That's the first thing I would definitely say for now. Go check out cigarclowns.com, and you'll see different things we offer on there. That would be the first step, because we start advertising when the next drop is coming within a few weeks before the drop comes. So it is out there, and the dates are released in a significant amount of time for people to find them.
All right, so now with that scenario, so is it like X amount of cigars that you drop every time? Are we only going to do 500 of this particular blend? Is there a number, a magic number?
It depends on how much crop the blender has, what they're willing to make us. So to put out. Also depends on if it's a full release or a store exclusive. Could vary, you know.
Okay, it varies. Okay.
Basically to answer the question, Stone, is we don't disclose the amount of cigars. If we know that it's going to be a limited run, and I can use the Scaramouche as an example, we were still kind of following the old model that we did when we were getting, stuff from factories and stuff like that. Things that were already, made and were tested by us. Now we're at the pinnacle point where we've developed so many relationships in the industry and blenders and stuff like that we're doing our own thing at this point. But going back to the Scaramouche, it was such a limited run. We felt as a brand that we couldn't let this opportunity pass by because this stick was so good, and we made it very clear to people that, listen, when this thing drops, it's going to sell out. There is not a lot of them to go around. And they did. And a lot of people were upset that they didn't get their hands on it. But the good part about the community that we've built as a brand with our Discord channel and our Instagram and our Facebook, we have so many great people in our following that we've developed that are willing to trade, are willing to send people cigars who haven't tried it, who are new, who are looking for our sticks, who are looking for our old sticks. And people have, there's pictures on Instagram, people tagging us that they have 30 Rons, 25, AVBs. And we just had one of our good friends, Saran of the Herf Nerd, a shout out to the Herf Nerd, as he's kind of, started up his own thing like we did and doing his own little cigar thing. Star Wars theme thing. He just sent a mail bomb to somebody who just got put onto us, was looking to get into, know about the brand. He sent them a bomb of like 8 sticks of ours from all the way dating back until early 2021 when we were in the underground up until now. Like, we built such a strong community of followers that it's like a family, and people want people to experience the Cigar Clowns experience and what we're doing as a brand. And people who don't get the opportunity to smoke our old stuff or stuff that's unavailable currently, that we don't have out there that's unavailable for people to smoke. It's a unique experience, and it's a humbling experience for us to sit here and say, holy shit, like, people are going out of their way to make sure that, John from North Carolina he loves the Clowns. He just smoked our first cigar. How do I get myself vanilla? I'll send you a bomb. And we see these bombs because we post them on our Instagram page, and it's like, holy shit, man! Like, it's a humbling experience to see what love and admiration we get from the consumer and the cult following that we build. And anything that you're looking for as a consumer and want to learn about the Cigar Clowns, the Instagram is probably a little bit better than the Facebook page, I would say, as far as the social media aspect of where you can get your details from. Facebook, both, will get it as well. But Instagram is more of the strong point with the algorithm right now with social media, which you probably know as well. So we kind of focus our attention on Instagram. As far as our website is concerned, the website, we have swag for sale. We have cutters, ashtrays, lighters. If you're looking for anything Cigar Clowns accessory wise that you want to drip yourself out in, that's the place to go. It's cigarclowns.com. We have a distributing hub. We're not using the website currently right now. We're in the process of working on that as we speak, as far as getting direct to customer. But we're using our distributing hub through the LCA. The Limited Cigar Association is our main hub for distributing. We're in 43 shops across the country. Best way to stay in contact. We tease releases. We let people know more releases. If we're doing a cut and light event for the release that you want to come and hang out and show up with us at, you can come and show up with us and hang out with us. We're very approachable. I answer all DMs and all messages on social media. I repost stories, anything that's tagged us or repost out there. We're very community oriented as a brand.
Bro, okay. I'm loving what I'm hearing here. Now, here's the question. I'm coming from a consumer standpoint. Because, again, you guys are hyping this thing up, and I'm loving I Had Your Cigar. Excellent. Is there any thought about moving in the future? Because, again, it seems like you have a release to have a permanent cigar where everybody maybe get their hands on it, or you kind of like the model of releasing X amount, and then that's it. Kind of start that all over again.
It's definitely a journey to find that perfect stick, and if we happen to come across some type of perfect stick, maybe one day. But right now, the model that we'll go with is we get what we can have made and produce them that way. But if we find a stick that we feel is something that we'd be able to have enough crop to last, then it would be something to consider. we're on the journey to find that perfect stick.
Okay,
That's
that's
the way to put it.
it's election night. You sound like a politician, but that's cool. That's pretty good, man.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty good, bro.
So I mean, I can jump in. It's kind of a 2-part answer, right? It's kind of a 2-part answer.
Yeah,
Right?
go ahead,
For us,
Hey.
for us as a collective, right? For us
Vote
as
for
a
Nick.
brand, right? For our brands, the model that we built works, right? And it's not about, at the end of the day, and I'm not trying to be a politician in any way, shape, or form, and that's not about the money for us. It's the love of the leaf, right? That's what it is for us as a brand. We love what we do. We love what we put out. We love hanging out and smoking our cigars and getting feedback from people, and love the fact of what we're doing and trusting in what we're doing. If we find something that has potential to be a legacy line for us down the road, it's definitely a potential. We're not going to sit here and say no. We're not going to sit here and say yes. It's definitely a possibility. We like to have an everyday stick in the shop that people can have while they're waiting for the next drop to come, the next limited drop, or the next huge run that we do. It's a cool concept, but I think we've built our business on being mystique and being mysterious and being like, where we're at as far as dropping sticks are concerned, and I think it works for us.
It does, definitely. You know what I mean? That the style, they like, oh wow, you don't know when it's going to come, how many it's going to be. So yeah, it works. I'm not, I'm not hating on that. I'm just wondering about the guys who's like, damn, I want to get the cigar. And again, the cigar sat out in maybe 72 hours, and I'm like, are you serious? I didn't get another one. What is going on here? I'm feeling left out. So I just don't want to, for those consumers who feel like, oh man, it's, I love it, but I don't want to chase it. And I don't know if I didn't pay attention, I got to take this test, I'm going to fail. So I'm just trying to think about those guys and girls who are thinking like, man, I had one, I love it, but I never can get one. I only had one and I can never get another one because I'm just not fast enough on those keys or.
Oh, sometimes it's not that it's just like you're not fast enough. Sometimes you need to know where the locations are to get them. It's all about information and getting information across to everybody. And through our Instagram or our Facebook, that's where you get it. So, like for a perfect example, we have coming in December, our Festivus 2 is coming. It's getting released, but it's only getting released to 8 crazy shops. 8 crazy shops. Instead of 8 crazy nights, 8 crazy shops.
And we don't know. Well, I don't say we
haven't dropped the shops yet.
Okay, secret.
8
exclusive.
Crazy shops. That's coming.
Yeah, it's Christmas coming. See, that's the thing. I want the cigars. Like, I'm getting frustrated. Like, damn, I want the cigar, but where am I going to get this baby? Am I going to get it? Am I going to be fast enough that I miss it again? Damn. It'll
definitely, the information will be out there more than enough time. As long as you follow us and see what we're doing, constantly putting out stuff and giving information out to the public what's going on.
Listen, we're in the business. Not to cut you off, Nick, but we're in the business of we've crashed multiple websites.
Wow.
They didn't have enough bandwidth to carry the traffic on it. We've crashed a credit card machine that they couldn't even. The credit card company shut them down because there were so many transactions going through at one point. So again, this is the fun of it. Listen, it's a journey, right? This is the journey that we're on. If you're on the journey with us and you want to get the next best available thing that we got that's going to drop, you got to play the game. It's like a treasure hunt.
No doubt. But listen, fellas, I know I was going to keep you long, but listen, is anything that I didn't ask that you want the folks to know, to put out there, besides that we can't get the cigar when I want the cigar? We spoiled, man. We a spoiled country. We want stuff when we want it. So besides that, brothers, is anything that we didn't go over that you want the folks to know?
We're just like everybody else. We're cigar smokers. We all have regular jobs. This is our business that we do after our regular jobs. So just like well, not everybody.
Yeah, he's like not everybody. Hey, some people speak for yourself. Speak for yourself. Some people speaking, laying around scratching themselves. Waking up late, doing anything, smoke 10 cigars a day. Not everybody's got to work hard.
And it's amazing in the cigar world where you could be sitting next to a doctor on one side of you, and on the other side of you, you're sitting next to a backhoe driver. It's amazing.
It's a beautiful culture. That's what I love about it. And everybody's the same, no matter what. You smoking a cigar, everybody's the same, brother. Everybody's the same. So, all right, so give out the website, the Cigar Clowns, I think you said, and give out your Instagram and Facebook stuff so folks know where they can go follow you guys and get hold of these cigars and let them cross their fingers. And they'll just have to be mad if you ain't fast enough. So get that information out.
Very simple. CigarClowns.com, at Cigar Clowns on Instagram, at Cigar Clowns on Facebook for all your Cigar Clowns needs, wants, and desires. If there's any questions about chops or you're looking for a cigar, you're having a hard time tracking down our newest release, we answer all DMs and messages on social media. It's an easy way to get in contact with us. Stone, if you have any issues getting our hands on our sticks, please let us know.
You know,
we'll definitely try to hook you up. We don't want you to miss out. We want you to be part of the family, and we appreciate the opportunity, coming on here and shooting the shit with you, and getting us out to your audience, and you kind of getting to know us. And I know you and Nikki had met down at Sessions for the anniversary party. I wish I could have been there, but
what a great shop! Shout out to Sessions.
Yeah, shout out to Sessions, man.
Yeah,
they're a big
definitely.
supporter of ours, and we appreciate the love and support that they give us down there. He has, he readily, both of the shops have our sticks, and they get our runs. And like I said, just 2023 is going to be another year. We got a lot of stuff in the loophole ready to go. It's going to be another fun year for us. We got some projects lined up. We got some things coming up. It'll be another, hopefully another big year for us, and we're just trying to carry the momentum. And listen, at the end of the day, people might say, oh, you're a brand, you guys are established. Listen, we're grinding every single day of the week, day in and day out. I'm in constant communication with my partners throughout the week, 7 days a week. Who's talking this? We're doing that. Who's sending emails? What are we doing about this? What interviews are we doing? What do we got coming loophole? What the band's ready? This and that. So we're constantly working every day, day and out. We're blue collar guys at the end of the day. And we have that New York hustle in our blood. You know what I mean? We're that New York strong. We got that New York swagger.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That's we carry it hard. So that's the being a Philly guy. You know exactly where I'm coming from. What
Get
I'm
the hustle,
about.
baby. Get the hustle on, no doubt.
Yeah, man.
Definitely. Well, Nick, Ray, I appreciate you brothers being the guest on Smoke World. Appreciate it, brothers. Like I said, anything you got coming up new, you want to jump on, reach out to me, brother. Be happy to talk to you. Let the listeners know what you got going on, brothers. Appreciate you guys,
it.
man. You guys take care and be safe, brothers.
Likewise.
Well, folks, there you have it. Another episode of Smoke World in the books. You can follow me on Instagram, IG, Smoke World Podcast. Email stone@smokeworldpodcast.com. And the website, people. I'm telling you, go get the swag. It's cold outside. Go get yourself a hoodie. Show some love. Go get yourself some sweatpants. Show some love. Anyway. Nick, Ray, thank you, my brothers. Appreciate you being guests. Check out Cigar Clowns. Excellent cigar. If you're not familiar, now you know. So you have no excuse to go handle your business. Folks, don't forget, subscribe, share, like, all those things. I will check you guys out on the other side. You be safe. Peace.